recommendation of the administration, I have a motion. Second. So moved by Ms. Bays and second by Mr. Smith. Any questions or discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries 5-0. Sorry about our home people because they couldn't hear any of that because I didn't turn my mic on. With that, we'll present those awards here individually. First, the academic Super Bowl team, so you guys can continue coming forward.
All right, it's my honor today and this evening to present to you guys your commendation. Congratulations on being state champions. What an honor, and I'm sure there's a little bit of hard work that went into that, huh? A little bit of time commitment. So obviously state champions in science, fine arts, and interdisciplinary categories in Class 1 of the Indiana State Academic Super Bowl competition. I'm going to read your commendation and then we'll go from there. Resolution of commendation. The Crown Point Board of School Trustees is honored to commend the Super Bowl team. Be it hereby resolved that the Board of School Trustees for the Crown Point Community School Corporation wishes to express sincere congratulations to the members of the 2022-2023 CPHS Academic Super Bowl I team for being named state champions in the science, fine arts, and interdisciplinary categories in Class 1 at the Indiana State Academic Super Bowl competition. The Board of School Trustees publicly recognizes this achievement and renders it permanently to its minutes to be preserved for public posterity on this 22nd day of May 2023. And so I suppose I should make a correction. It's not the entire Super Bowl team. There's individuals. So as I call your name, we'll have you come up and get the award. Coaches, if you'll help me with that. So I got Avery Goldthorpe first. Is Avery here with us?
We got Latin awards night tonight, and Latin awards all across the school board.
Well, that's understandable. Coach, I'm going to hand them to you if that's okay. Adam Fusula, is that correct? Did I pronounce that right? Fusella. Congratulations, Adam. Well done. And this is for the science team, I believe. Is this Lucas Johnson as well? Okay. And then Max Poole for the science team. Is that right? Congratulations, Max. Well done. And then for the state champion fine arts team, we got Avery Goldthorpe again, but I think there's this one. Let me see. Yeah. And then Sarah Leitzel. She's not here. And then Galvin Pulley. Not here. So that's for the fine arts team. Then the interdisciplinary team, we have Lucas Johnson again, Avery Goldthorpe, Sarah Leitzel, Adam Fusella, and Sonny Pape. I don't think Sonny's here either, correct? All right. Coach Lambercy, your award is here. Congratulations. This one's for you. And Coach McGee, congratulations. Well done. Great job. So I'm not sure which coach wishes to speak, but if you can share a little bit about your journey and how this came about and how you got to be state champions.
The academic Super Bowl, we've only had one state championship, I think, in our entire career, fine arts a couple of years ago. So to have three state championships, we looked back at the records, and only Munster last year kind of did it. No other school in the state of Indiana has done something like that. And really, it's just, we always say, find the best DNA in Crown Point and bring them in. That Coach McGee and myself, we don't do too much of the work. We put it squarely on their shoulders, and they're the type of kids who they want to win, and they study, whether it's science or fine arts or social studies or English or math, and they just go at it and really showcase, the great students we have here at Crown Point.
Fantastic. Coach, you got anything to add?
It's just so tough just to make it to state. Just to win state is just a whole other level, and we're just blessed to go with the smartest kids in the school.
Fantastic. I know I coach Sonny in football, and I know Miss Leitzel from church and her involvement in the church, so I know what kind of people they are as well, and I can only assume that your whole team walks with that type of character. So as much as we're happy that you won the state championship. We're also happy that you represent our school corporation so well as students and just your hard work and effort. And just congratulations again. What a big honor. So big achievement. Great job, Coach.
I'm gonna have you take one step back, and then I can shift between this. Perfect. Okay, thank you.
If I could get all my finalists, teachers, and employees all up front, please. It'll make my job just a little bit easier. All right. Being though I have to ad-lib the accommodation award, I'll do my best to do that, being that all of you are being accommodated for the special of being honored and commended for your meritorious achievement for being nominated as the finalists and those for the winners, for those that have won their separate category. So the Crown Point Board of School Trustees is honored to commend these individuals. Be it hereby resolved, the Board of School Trustees wish to express sincere congratulations to all individuals for being named finalists and award winners. The Board of School Trustees publicly recognizes this achievement and renders it permanently to its minutes to be preserved for public posterity day this 22nd day of 2023. And unfortunately, they put the winners first, so I'm going to save them for last. So, Teacher of the Year finalist, Stephanie Olson, Colonel Wheeler. Congratulations, Stephanie. Devin Lewis Taft. Congratulations. Patty Begley, Eisenhower. Congratulations, Patty. Tiffany Markham, Lake Street. Congratulations, Tiffany. I guess I should have brought my glasses, but we're okay. Alicia Bellamy, MacArthur. Alicia, congratulations. Jamie Pauley, Timothy Ball. Alex Draculich, I say that right? Winfield? Oh, okay. Brandy Sims, Jerry Ross. Employee of the Year finalist, Jeannie Watson, Learning Center. Karen Harmaker, Crown Point High School. I've seen her 1,000 times. I never knew her last name. So, Al Roach, Jerry Ross. All right, now our winners in certain categories. First of all, for Teacher of the Year at the secondary level, Allison Florick. Congratulations. Teacher of the Year, secondary level, Andrea Schote, or Schote? Schote. Congratulations. Congratulations, Allison. All right. I have been instructed now, because the Administrator of the Year we didn't announce it and they didn't know who it was, so I'm turning this over to Dr. Terrell. So, oh, I'm sorry, Employee of the Year. I'm sorry.
Go ahead and do Employee of the Year.
Oh, Oh, I skipped him, that's why.
Yeah.
And I knew who this was, too. That's what makes it even worse. Michelle Crawl. All right, before we get to that, I just want to make sure, because I'll probably get shut off because we're moving on with the meeting. Oh,
We still got the administrator of the year to do?
yes.
Okay,
Oh, we do?
we do.
Okay.
So
All right.
Brooke is gonna bring the name to you.
Oh, okay. And I get to announce it?
You get to announce
Oh,
it.
I thought you guys were doing this.
That's all right. This works out better.
Now, now you wouldn't watch those award shows and they change the script, now I know what I feel like. So, our Administrator of the Year, Jennifer Lindsley. So, I have these to hand out. Congratulations. Excuse me 1 second here. Allison. Andrea. And Michelle. So now that we can finish this up, on behalf of the board, congratulations for everything you guys do. And we know it's on a daily basis, not just doing your actual jobs, but connecting with kids and making their days better. Because we know some kids might just be struggling, and we know that all of our employees, and these come to the forefront because they're nominated by somebody else. And then the panel decides on who the finalists are, and then obviously the award winner. So on behalf of the board, we thank you for everything you do on a day-in basis. And some of you obviously are looking forward to about 10 days from now when you don't have to do that on a day-by-day basis. So congratulations to all of you, and stick around for some pictures.
Thank you, everybody who came to support all of these employees. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you. Yep, well deserved. Item 3 on tonight's agenda is patrons' comments. We have none this evening unless somebody came in late that wanted to get on the document. Nope. With that, we're moving on to item 4, which is our consent agenda. Dr. Terrell.
Thank you. For your consideration tonight, we have 4.01. Oh, yes, thank you. Sorry about that, Brian. For your consideration this evening, we have 4.01, the minutes of meetings, 4.02, our personnel report, 4.03, voucher registered checks as listed.
I was just expecting to go longer than normal. I was caught off guard. You've heard the recommendation of the consent agenda by the administration. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Smith, second by Mr. Babjack. Questions or discussion on those items? There being none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you. Before we go on, we've got some introductions that we would like to make. Let me start. Mark, would you step up or turn your microphone on there and introduce the two secondary positions that we have that are here with us this evening? And then Sabrina, I'll ask you to do the same for our elementary position.
Okay, first, we have a new assistant principal at Colonel Wheeler Middle School. And if she could stand up here, this is, now am I gonna use your hyphenated name or? Sure. Okay, we'll do that. Okay, this is Sarah Emerson Stanzoni, and she's coming to us with a wealth of experience at the middle school level, a neighboring district to the north of us, so we won't talk about them right now. But we're really excited to have her coming to join us, and just excited to have her here.
Sarah, could you introduce your family?
This is my husband, Bill Emerson.
Come on, Bill, I can't see you. You're gonna
My daughter, Elise, who will be in kindergarten at Eisenhower next year, and my son, John, who's currently in second grade at Eisenhower.
Very good.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Thank you.
And then our second secondary appointment is, it's a familiar face, if she could stand up. Amy? That's you. So Amy Helmuth, who is currently at Crown Point High School and has been as an assistant principal and been with our corporation for quite a while. She will be taking on the role of assistant secondary director for our corporation, and really have a very concentrated effort on that new Ed Center with alternative school and 18 to 22-year-old programming. So we're excited about her taking on that new role.
And I would like to introduce Ryan Eckhart. Ryan will be joining us as the Timothy Ball principal, and we are very excited to welcome him. He is currently the principal at Red Cedars Elementary, and he is really going to be excited to join the family that is established at Timothy Ball. Is bringing a lot of energy, excitement, and always has some cool kicks on, I would say. So the kids will really learn to appreciate his style and his love for being an educator. So we're very excited to welcome you, Ryan.
Ryan, introduce your wife.
This is my wife, Carrie. We have 4 daughters who range in age from 6 to 16, and they're all in about 3 activities, so everyone has something right now.
Welcome. And if you do, don't feel obligated to stay. That's one of our rules here. Seriously, if you gotta get to one of the, there'll be plenty of time for us to get acquainted. So if you do have to leave for another activity, you're more than welcome to do so at this time. Okay. Yeah, they were all gun shy. They weren't going anywhere. I can't help but acknowledge a friendly face in the crowd in Officer Noonan, so I just want to say thanks for your presence this evening. It's been a long time since you've been at the high school where it was a daily activity for you, so thank you for coming tonight. Item 5.01, apply for and receiving funding from the Challenger Center grant. Mr. Hardman?
Thank you, Mr. President. Seeking your approval for another year of sending our 5th graders to the Challenger Center in 2023-24. This is part of the curriculum in science when they do have the opportunity to engage in some learning before they get to the Challenger Center, have the experience of being in the lab, and then coming back and debriefing on that. I think it's important to note that we've been part of the Challenger Center since its inception. I mean, that goes back many years, and we continue to send our children, our students there, and the experience that they receive and have is always something that is a highlight for them as they go at the end of the school year. Seeking your approval tonight to apply for and receive the funding from the Challenger Columbia grant.
You've heard the recommendation of the administration to apply for and receive funding from the Challenger Columbia grant to support 5th grade students' attendance at the Challenging Learning Center during the 2023-2024 school year. May I have a motion? Motion by Mr. Vassar, second by Ms. Bazin. Questions or discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Angel, may I interrupt?
Sure.
Did we do a vote on the personnel?
Yeah, it's part of the consent agenda.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure. Oh, you had that pause over there. Did you say?
Diana, do you have any,
Sure.
did we do that? Yes. Okay, thank you. Always, to get it right, we're always here about getting it right. 5.02, course edition for the 2023-24 school year at Colonel Wheeler and Taft Middle School. Mr. Gianfermi.
Thank you, Mr. President. In accordance with Indiana Code, Crown Point Middle Schools will be required to implement a new sixth grade civics course during the 23-24 school year. As prescribed by the state, the civics course will be offered during the second semester of the sixth grade. The course will focus on major principles, values, and institutions of constitutional government and citizenship based on our founding documents of the United States of America. Crown Point sixth grade teachers have worked with the Crown Point Blended Instructional Design Specialist to create this course based on identified Indiana state standards. It's the administration's recommendation that the school board approve the course edition of the sixth grade civics course at Colonel Wheeler and Taft Middle School for the 23-24 school year.
You've heard the recommendation of the administration for approve the course edition of sixth grade civics at Colonel Wheeler Middle School and Taft Middle School for the 2023-24 school year. May I have a motion?
Second?
Motion by Mr. Babjak, second by Ms. Basin. Question or discussion?
Question, Mark. Was the sixth grade mandated by the state that it be at that grade level?
Correct, yes.
Okay,
And
and-
that semester.
Yeah.
The other standards will be covered in the first semester, and then there's an adjustment of seventh and eighth grade standards, so everything will still be covered.
So I believe the sixth graders were in social studies, were studying ancient European history? Is that still the case? Do you know?
I think it's seventh grade hits that. I think they're like in South America for the sixth grade.
They must have, okay. But this will not take the place of that instruction? Okay, that's my question. Okay. So it's an additional course?
Correct.
Dr. Terrell, is that a 9-week course? And if so, how does that play? And I know currently students who are in band or choir or orchestra, I believe, have some other like limited opportunities just in terms of what fits schedule-wise. How does this factor in there?
It's
Mr. Gianfermi.
it's a semester long, so it'll just actually feel just like the social studies course for sixth grade and seventh grade and eighth grade, so it shouldn't affect any of those type of courses.
It'll become part of their wheel, if you will, as it rotates through.
And I can just add to that, knowing one of those history teachers, close and personal up close, they are prepared to teach that civic class. So, as I had that discussion last evening, so. And thrilled about it, yes. Always teaching our youth more things. And civics, a good core subject for
If I
that
could
age
vote-
group.
If I could vote twice, I would.
Yes.
With what I do as a profession, right?
All those in favor? Oh, sorry.
So Mark, I'll just make sure I'm getting this right. So in sixth grade, what they used to learn in 2 semesters, they're going to learn in 1?
So the standards have been adjusted, so
Okay.
that, yes, they'll still cover what they did in the first semester in sixth grade. Then they'll do the civics class, and then some of those other standards have been pushed into seventh grade and eighth grade, so everything can get covered. So it's sort of spread out.
Okay. Thank you for that clarification.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries 5-0. 5.03, purchase of the data center UPS. Mr. Reese.
Thank you, Mr. Angel, members of the board. Tonight we have before you the purchase of an APC UPS, which is an uninterruptible power source from CDWG at $149,985. This equipment's used to moderate the interim from when power goes out to when the generator kicks on. As you understand, it's critical not to lose those systems, which include our phones and all the computers and network. So with that, we're recommending approval of the purchase of the APC UPS from CDWG at $149,985.
You've heard the recommendation of the administration for approval to purchase the APC UPS from CWG at $149,985. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second. Motion by Mr. Smith, second by Mr. Babjak. Question or discussion?
What's the lifespan on something like that in terms of how often that would be replaced, or is that? Do we have that information?
6 years.
6 years.
All right, thank you.
Everybody else okay? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries 5-0. Purchase the Dell ABS backup solution, Mr. Reese.
Thank you, Mr. Angel. Members of the board, tonight we bring before you a backup solution from Dell. This will move our backups from being on premises to being out in the cloud. This is a 3-year agreement of that being out in the cloud. So with that, we're recommending approval of the purchase of the Dell ABS from Electronic Strategies, Inc. at $346,213.91.
You've heard the recommendation of the administration for approval to purchase the Dell ABS from Electronic Strategies, Inc. at $346,213.91. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Babjak, second by Ms. Basin. Question or discussion?
Would this purchase help at all in the issues that we had back around Thanksgiving? Prevent things like that? Having a backup then?
The intention will be that with it being cloud-based, that it's living out on multiple places where we should be able to retrieve our information. So, we believe so.
It doesn't help nor hinder then?
It should be a help.
Should be help.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries 5-0. 5.05, purchase interactive panels, Mr. Reese.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. Tonight we bring you the last rooms for the interactive panels. This is the second wave. These are the panels that are used to provide instruction within the classrooms. With the opening of new classrooms for the start of the next school year, and as well as equipping the new administration building, these panels will be throughout that building and also to fulfill the new wing at the high school and some other areas within the district. So with that, we're recommending the purchase of 209 clear touch panels, document cameras, webcams, and adjustable mount carts and installation from Tri-Electronics at $802,604.
You've heard the recommendation of the administration for approval to purchase, I don't know why the word 50 there. 209 clear touch panels, document cameras, webcams, adjustable mount carts, and installation from Tri-Electronics at $802,604. May I have a motion?
So move.
Motion by Mr. Vassar, second by Ms. Basin. Question or discussion?
Tri-Electronics did the other touchscreens as well, so same type of touchscreen panels
Correct.
that we've had success with? All right,
Yes.
thanks.
I'd just like to note that based on these last 4 approvals and the dollar amounts, I got into the wrong field. Let me just tell you that. So, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you, Mr. Reese. Oh, we do have one more there, or 2 more. 5.06, Lightspeed Amplification Sound System. Mr. Reese.
Thank you, Mr. Angel. Members of the board, as part of the technology plan to equip all of our classrooms, similar to the interactive panels going into those rooms, we also have an amplification system that allows the teachers to amplify their voices throughout the classroom. So with that, we're recommending approval to purchase 186 Lightspeed amplification sound systems with Flex Mic and Media Connector from Lightspeed Technologies at $240,684.
Oh, you didn't read that last part. You've heard the recommendation of the administration to purchase 186 Lightspeed amplification sound systems with Flex Mic and Media Connectors from Lightspeed Technologies at the amount of $240,684 from the PEPPM QPA contract number 528897. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Vassar, seconded by Mr. Smith. Questions, discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. 5.07, Server SAN Infrastructure. Mr. Reese.
Thank you, Mr. Angel. Members of the board, tonight we bring before you the purchase of VxRail virtual server and data infrastructure. This was last replaced in 2017. And that equipment normally lasts around 5 years. We're into our 6th year with that. So with that, we're recommending the approval to purchase the Dell VxRail from Electronic Strategies at $568,487.67.
You've heard the recommendation of the administration for approval to purchase Dell VxRail from Electronic Strategies, Inc. in the amount of $568,487.67. May I have a motion? Ms. Basin with a motion. Second by Mr. Babjack. Questions or discussion? I'll just reiterate, obviously, all of this is necessary in doing what we do behind the scenes, and even though dollars seem, on the high end of things, we only do what's best and spend the dollars wisely on what we need to do to make sure that we have these systems, instruments, and all that in place. So thank you for all the work behind the scenes. With that, may I have a motion? Or I'm sorry, we got that. A vote? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Again, thank you to all involved. Item 6, superintendent's discussion groups. Whoever might like to get started with either Cedar Lake, Crown Point. I know nothing's going on in Winfield.
Cedar Lake redevelopment, we did not have a meeting in May because that meeting was set for Election Day. So the next meeting will be next week. And hopefully it's not the same day as commencement. I just thought of that. So there's nothing new to report from Cedar Lake.
Thank you, Mr. Vasher. Mr. Smith?
Nothing tonight.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to 6.02, Director of Elementary Education. Mr. Ramirez.
Thank you, Mr. President.
I didn't know titles were moving, so I had to think of where we're at. Okay, all right.
All good. Thank you, Mr. President and board members. I just want to really take this opportunity to thank our community and our families. We had Educator Appreciation Week the week of May 8th, and it was incredible to be out in the buildings and to see how our community members and our families really celebrated all educators in our buildings. They were very well treated and appreciated during that week, so I think it's always a great week to be in the buildings. I also want to congratulate MacArthur for their participation in World Robotics this year, as well as I want to congratulate Lake Street for their performance during Math Bowl in our regional competition where they really excelled. Lastly, I just want to really, I think, highlight when we were coming into the board meeting today, the energy that was out in the hallway when we look at our Educators of the Year, Staff of the Year, Administrator of the Year. There is truly such commitment to what we do day in and day out, and the love that everybody brings to very challenging jobs with a lot of responsibility is felt, I think, in the hallways in here. And I think it's an exciting time when we think about our retirees, we think about our new hires. We're getting ready for next school year with the new teacher academy. It's just really a great career and profession to be part of, to know what impact every person that we hire can truly have on one another as colleagues as well as on our students. So I just leave today's board meeting very excited about getting ready to wrap up this school year and going into next school year with some changes, a lot of still similarities that we will continue with our values and our vision.
Thank you. 6.03, Director of Secondary Education, Mr. Gianfermi.
Thank you, Mr. President. Let me start off with, Mr. Vassar, you are correct. Ancient world in 6th grade.
You doubted me, huh?
You spent 10 years, right? I should have never doubted you. So I just want to correct that. Also, I want to congratulate the Crown Point High School Music Department for receiving a Total Department Award at the ISMA competition. Only one of 19 high schools to receive that award. I know I had recognized the middle schools the last board meeting, and I just didn't have enough information on the high school. It doesn't surprise me that they would receive that honor as well. And then just a list of things that have happened since I've last seen you at a board meeting. I attended a transition fair, and I'm going to let Ms. Paskus maybe get into the details of that, of over 75 businesses and ed partners there. Just a career fair with a kind of the slant on special education students, being able to have those opportunities. Went to a military appreciation day where Mr. Marsick and his administrative team honored 6 graduating seniors, and every branch of the military was represented except the Coast Guard. Went to an internship luncheon at St. Elijah's Hall where Ms. Zega and her 280 interns were there with their business partners. Next year we are looking at 350 students being interns from the high school, which is a great community partnership. The Crown Point Community Foundation Scholarship Night, where Crown Point Community Foundation, Jim and Betty Dye Foundation, Crown Point Education Association, and the Hoffer Family Foundation awarded over $700,000 in scholarship funding to the class of 2023. $714,000 to be exact. Colonel Wheeler choir students did their final performance at Bulldog Park. Great, using that facility to highlight our students. And then finally, a new tradition here in Crown Point Schools, the graduation walks, where all 7 elementary schools and St. Mary's welcome back students that had attended those buildings. About 35 to 40 students in their cap and gowns got to walk through the hallways and get cheered by all the other elementary students. And you see a lot of tears from elementary teachers and kids, and it's a really great new tradition that they started here. So again, in echoing what Ms. Ramirez said, it's just a great time of year when you can see all those Teacher of the Year finalists being part of those interviews and hearing what they really do. I mean, we saw them stand up here, but just hearing them and talking about their passion for what they do for this community and this school corporation, it's really appreciate them. So just all the things that are happening in the schools and all the community partnerships, I just wanted to highlight those. Thanks.
Thank you. Director of Exceptional Education, Mrs. Paskus.
Good evening, President Angel, members of the board. I just wanted to speak about our Unified Game Day on May 10th. Still head in the clouds a little bit because it's the best day of the year, hands down. And I wanted to point out some people that really helped make it happen. And Rachel Dunlap is our physical therapy assistant, and she just takes it on and organizes all the activities and schedules the classes and the students, their rotations, helps draw a map of the field where everyone should be stationed, and then not only ran it, the events that day, but got a whole bunch of high school volunteers to come on board and help out. So I really appreciate Rachel. It's just something she has taken on. We didn't necessarily assign it to her, but she just goes above and beyond. So I really thank Rachel for her work on that. Mr. Smith was able to stop out. I really thank you for coming. Seeing Mr. Reese in a Special Olympics t-shirt, I mean, it was a great day. I want to thank some of our donors. Kyle Ropak, one of the local business owners, donated $2,000 for the day, which helped cover the cost of shirts and food. The Wheeler Builders Club donated $100, and Wheeler also allowed us to use their Bulldog mascot costume. Our new McDonald's on 109th, Jack Lubeznik, donated $400. So again, if you could have seen the smiles, you've probably seen pictures online, and maybe you have even heard some stories from folks who were there. Just smiles all around. Great day to end the year. Special education can be tense and stressful, and I think ending it in that way where everyone gets a chance to succeed and excel and have fun just shines a spotlight on our kids, how great they are. So thank you all.
Thank you for all the work involved in that, and I think probably to Miss Allen, I did see the picture on the corporation website now is them carrying the banner in, or at least it was last night about 7 o'clock, so, yeah. Chief Academic Officer, Mr. Hardman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Reflecting on graduation that's coming up, and as Mark has shared a number of the opportunities, the things that are taking place as far as celebration. About 8 years ago, we had a child that was adopted into a family that came from Africa. This child came to Crown Point Community School Corporation, and this child, we did not know the age of the child. The child had maturity to her, and also academically, she was performing well below her age. She attended Jerry Ross Elementary School. It was a commitment on the staff at Jerry Ross as well as Mrs. Leslie that they would do everything possible to close this gap. This child left Jerry Ross after 2 years, continued on to Colonel Wheeler, and same thing happened. And I think Tim was the principal there. The goal was to really close the gap for this child so that this child could graduate. That child is graduating this year. And what a success story for that child, for the school corporation, Tim, Jen, the staff that's been involved with her, and that's what it's all about.
That's awesome.
Thank you. Chief Financial Officer, Mr. Reeves.
I have nothing this evening, thank you.
Director of Communications, Ms. Allen.
Sorry, I wasn't ready for you to, nothing. As we wrap up the school year, I want to thank the various individuals in our buildings who help with all of our communications efforts. Everything from website to social media to newsletters, the list goes on, but there's no way that I could do it by myself with 11, 12 buildings out there. And just to prove why this team of individuals is so important, I did run some numbers. So our Facebook reach this year was 570,000 unique individuals. So not, everyone in this room saw things that added up to 500,000, but we reached over 500,000 individual users on Facebook this year. Website views, 1,066,000. Newsletters, 432,000 views. Earned media, $370,000, which we don't pay for because it's earned. And then Parent Square, which we adopted this year, we have only a fraction of our teachers using. Everyone will jump on board next year. But just the small number of people who are there this year, we had 20,000 direct messages sent to parents. We had almost 4,000 photos shared with parents, 3,200 mass messages, and over 6,000 parents volunteered to bring in items or sign up for volunteer times. So pretty impressive. So thank you to those individuals in our buildings who help with that.
Thank you. 6.0, that's it? Oh, okay, want to make sure. 6.08, Superintendent of Schools.
Thank you. All the things that we've heard this evening, the excitement that you felt as we came in, I just want to take the opportunity to thank all of those. It's hard to believe we're at that point where graduation is next week. Last school day is Friday. It's been a great year. It's been a challenging year. But when we look at all the things that have transpired over the year and try to reflect back on that, it's been pretty amazing where we've started, where we've come through, and now to get to this point. The things that you heard about tonight from our cabinet, the things that you saw with all of our teacher, employee of the year, administrator of the year being here, those are the things that make Crown Point special. And those are the things that when we have an opening for elementary position, 4 of them, and we get 85 applicants, those are the kind of things that set us apart from other districts. And I had for me, it wasn't unfortunate. For the superintendent I was speaking with, it was unfortunate conversation this morning to let them know that we were going to hire one of their administrators away from them. And it's that time of the year, and that's one of the hard things about the business. But being able to attract people who want to come here with experience, who want to, and when you say why Crown Point, and they start listing all the things that are going on, the culture, the professional development opportunities, the resources that are given, the supports that are given, the kids, the community, just truly an amazing place to be. So excited to see what the summer has for us, and we know that'll be over before we know it. And Mike Molaski is freaking out just hearing that right now. So thank you to everybody who's been involved with that, and appreciate all of you and your support with that as well.
Thank you. Item 7.01, other business of the board. Anybody got anything before Mr. Vassar has his legislative? Nope, go ahead, Tim, all yours.
Okay, I left you a legislative report. This was, I didn't type any of this up, okay? So this was given to us at the district meeting earlier this month, and I'm not gonna go through the whole thing because it's a pretty extensive packet, but the good news is the assembly's over for the year, so nothing new is gonna be coming up. But just a couple of points here on page 12. 2023 Assembly Session Scorecard. That second check mark, there are now 48 new K through 12 education policies, school, local governments, or child-related laws. 48 new ones. That's a lot. That's a lot. Just do that. I'm not going to cover the biannual budget. Mr. Reese did such a great job a couple of weeks ago with us covering that. I did a great job on that, Matt. So I'm not going to cover any of that. It's all written down for you. both Mr. Angel and Mr. Babchak on page 15. You'll be happy to see something there. House Enrolled Act 1005. This has to do with our involvement on the redevelopment commissions. You may see that if they're looking for establishing a TIF fund in our communities that we represent, it's including the condition that the governing body of each school corporation affected by the program pass a resolution approving the program before the program may go into effect. I know that's been a problem before. We've sat on those boards but had really nothing to say. That's a big move. That's a big move for us in Crown Point and anywhere else for that matter. Also like to point out on page 17, at the top, House Act 1447. This requires school boards to establish a procedure for schools to prepare a catalog of library materials and to post the catalog on each school's website. Now, I know we already have policies for that. I do not know, Brooke, maybe you know, I don't. Is that already posted on our websites? Okay, so the, who's ever gonna be doing that's gonna have a busy summer, I think, getting out all together.
Did they pass any additional dollars that we would get to help make all that happen, or is that?
No, that's a freebie. On page 18, and Mr. Reese really covered this last week too, so I don't really need to go through that, but it's about teacher, what percentage of funds need to be spent on teacher, excuse me, teacher compensation, I'm sorry. It does say though, on that third bullet, I'm on page 18 now, on that third bullet, requires the department to provide certain academic performance metrics to schools and requires each school to post the information on the school's website page. I'm not aware of any metrics that have been posted there yet. So, I don't know, Dr. Terrell, if you know of anything.
Yeah, so what I'd like to say, with all these that are coming through,
Mhm.
all of them have either a July 1 or later start date. And what we're waiting
Right.
on right now is the guidance from the DOE, which, as Mr. Reese can tell you, we think it's gonna happen, and then it's pushed back another week, and now it's pushed back another week. And so we anticipate that we'll have that guidance sometime coming up in the next few weeks, we hope. And
Right.
at that point in time, we'll begin to determine how we're going to move forward with that. For instance, with this point you're making there, what are the metrics
Yeah.
that they're looking at? My guess is it'll probably align with the new dashboards that the state is putting together.
Yeah, I would assume so. That's all I wanted to cover on that. That's a lot to read, but it is not boring reading. So give it a whirl.
Thank you, Mr. Vaster. Any other board business this evening? I'd just like to point out, I mentioned Officer Noonan in place of Mr. Colson tonight, but of course Denise Jansen is here also in attendance, hiding in the corner, so she's not on camera, but didn't want to think people that we did. I acknowledge you, correct, right?
I
So,
do have two additional things,
For board business or under board statements of appreciation?
board business.
Okay, go ahead.
One I had mentioned last month about adding a moment of silence to our Pledge of Allegiance, to be in line with what our schools are doing, Monday through Friday. I don't know if I need to actually put that in form of a motion to add that.
We'll discuss that and
Okay.
find out, and then I'm sure we can put that in force starting next month.
Yeah, just, I mean, it's what our schools are required to do every day, and us being up here, I think, is a good example.
I think it's
For them-
just, it's at the will of the board. I
So,
mean,
there you go.
it
So
depends on if the rest of you are okay with that. If so, we definitely can move in that direction.
I have no issue and would support that.
I will make sure I touch base with Diana before the next regular board meeting.
Okay, thank you for that. And then, secondly, Dr. Terrell, the new, well, not the new building, where Taft currently stands, what are you calling that building now? Not the administration center, but it's the
The Education Center?
education center. I'd like to make a motion that we enact the policy to name that school commemoratively, according to our current policy, and to put that forward so we can get that done in a timely manner.
Okay. Let's talk through and look at what that policy is and look at if we're gonna do committee structure, what's gonna happen with that as well.
And I think what the solution there, Tim, would be is to maybe have that discussion as far as changing the policy itself prior to even doing that, but all doing that if time allows in the next 2 months. So the naming's obviously before the building opens up. Are you okay?
And I would say maybe there's a need for two separate policies, one for, new schools and maybe one for ancillary buildings.
Yeah.
Like, they don't necessarily need to follow the same.
Right, because part of the issue before with the new Taft was doing it in a timely manner.
So I think if we can look at the policy and the time frame here in the next 30 to 45 days, this way, if that policy is put in force, we can come up with something that, obviously, the naming of the new building can be done prior to opening in August.
And that
But
might be a little, I'm searching for the right word, quick to go through all the processes, because it's not just simply taking one name. Now we've got to open it up and get input from the community as to if there are other names for consideration as well. So it'll be a several month process. And that's where, let's talk through that and get to what that needs to be. So
I will
we make
talk
sure
to you
we
on
do
an
it
individual
appropriately.
basis this week, Mr. Vassar.
Yeah.
Make sure I got all your ideas, and then we'll move forward with something.
Yeah, I have no name myself.
Oh, okay.
I have nothing, but to open it back up to the public, just to follow the policy. And according to the policy, it's probably about a 2-month process to go through everything.
So I'll touch base with you later this week, and we'll get the ball rolling on that.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you.
Any other board business? Board statements of appreciation and recognition. Mr. Vassar, any this evening?
I'd like to piggyback on what Brooke was saying about the parent involvement. The number you mentioned, Brooke, was outstanding. And I've always been a believer that education is it's a three-legged stool. You have the students, the parents, and the teachers, and if one of those legs is missing, it doesn't work very well. So I applaud our parents who, by and large, engage in their child's education, where I've seen many communities where that just doesn't happen in the position I'm in now, outside of this. So I just want to compliment our parents on a job well done.
Thank you. Ms. Bazin?
Yes, thank you. So I just wanted to start by thanking the cabinet members. A few weeks ago, we had our board retreat, and the cabinet members who, to my knowledge, are here working all day long, then stayed from 5 to 9:30 for the board retreat. And so I just wanted to thank them for their time, away from their families, away from all the things they could be doing, especially at such a busy time of year on Mr. Gianfermi's birthday, no less, which we didn't have cake for, so I feel like we still owe you that. But I just wanted to thank you guys for spending your time to make sure that we have all the information that we need, and I appreciate that. And then just secondary, but in no particular order, I do want to thank all the teachers. It was awesome to see such a large showing tonight, obviously with that purpose, but even just having all of the end of year fun with all of my own children and kind of doing all the field trips. And today we had Kindy 500 and just all of those events that I feel like it's a crazy time of year in general for parents. A lot of the teachers also have their own children, and then they're going above and beyond just to make all of these end of year experiences so wonderful for all of the kids, all of the students. So a huge shout out to them. It's not easy this time of year, I know from personal experience, but just such a great way that they go above and beyond wrapping things up for our students. So thank you so much to all the teachers.
Thank you. Mr. Babjack?
I'd like to say thanks to all the administrators that were involved with the hiring process of this last group that we just approved. There was my understanding that there was a lot of top talent both outside of the corporation and within. And as somebody that hires people, I could imagine that you thought that was a pretty good problem to have. And so I thank you for getting that mix right. Heard a lot of good feedback from different folks that we approved tonight from within the community, people that have reached out to me that just knew these people were part of the process. And I'm sure they'll be thrilled at the appointments that we made tonight. So thank you for that. You guys do all that work. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Mr. Smith?
Yeah, I'll go quick as well. First, as Heather had mentioned, had an opportunity to go to Unified Games and what a cool event. If you never had an opportunity to be there, I recommend all the board members take some time and get over there if you can. I know it's in the middle of the day, or to our community. But what a great showing of support and just a community feel between the administrators, the teachers, the students, and it's just a really touching thing. So exciting. And the event went off awesome. I got there a little late, but what a cool event to go to. So I was glad to be a part of that. Want to congratulate the track team. I think it's that time of year. They won sectional. I think that's the first time since I've been on board, and may have been 9 or 10 years. So that's a nice win for the track team.
Since 2017.
Okay, so 17 years, or since 2017? Okay. And so what a nice win for them, and give them the best as they move forward. Want to recognize Mr. Molaski's son, Seamus Molaski. I believe he set a school record for shot put, and he beat it by like 2 foot or something crazy. So what a great moment for him, and he's just a great kid that we've had an opportunity to know through the years. So really happy for him on an individual accolade. And then also, I think the girls tennis won sectional. So obviously, nothing surprising there. A lot of success. We always have success, but I want to recognize those teams. If I missed anybody or didn't recognize anybody, I'm sure Mr. Angel will know. He knows about the underwater basket weaving team, and he knows everything about all the school corporations, so I'm sure he'll clean me up. But wish everyone the best that's moving forward and advancing both individually and as teams in the next few weeks.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Softball and baseball regionals or sectionals do start this week, 2 weekend technically. So I have 2 this evening, and Diana, this isn't for you to do extra work, but to our business leaders that actually have these individuals for the internship program. I was at the luncheon this past week as well, and those business individuals open their doors to bring these students in and let them learn about everyday life, which is, as we know as adults as you get older, isn't about getting on a phone and texting people. So you learn so many more valuable lessons to help you in adulthood that I can't say nothing but thanks to all those individuals that help out our students in trying to learn those day-to-day skills that actually are needed other than what they're learning in the classroom. So thank you to all of them. And then to all of our building leaders and staff that had to deal with these construction projects. I've heard, for lack of a better term, the trouble that sometimes it causes changing classrooms, moving things around, and yet you're still expected to do a job. So we understand that as a board, and would like to say thanks for putting up with it. You only got another week to go, and then we can hopefully get a lot of these projects obviously completed that are due to be completed before the start of the school year next year. But we know it's one of those things you just can't put a halt to, and you have to move forward with it and do the best you can. And we do thank you for all your patience in that process. So with that, I will look for a motion to adjourn. Motion by Mr. Vassar, seconded by Mr. Babjack. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you.